the key issue of exhibiting insight, full insight into their crimes and completely accepting responsibility for their actions. This is where the Menendezes, like Sirhan, also fall short.
This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the Menendez brothers' continuing quest for freedom as they're preparing for a hearing on Friday. The convicted killers firing back at DA Nathan Hochman for comparing them to Sirhan. TMZ releasing an exclusive conversation with Lyle and Erik from behind bars. The Menendez brothers, the prison interview hit the airwaves last night. Maybe you saw it. And after more than 3 decades in prison, these guys revealed to TMZ they are hopeful with their outlook for the future.
Hope for the future is really kind of a new thing for us, I think. I think Erik would probably agree with that. It's not something that we spend a lot of time on. I'm striving to be a better person every day, and I want to be a person that my family can be proud of.
The 360-degree evaluation of where they are, where they've been, and where they're going to be is incredible.
Their entire life they've been spoiled. They've been coddled, and they've always got what they want, and this is just something they want. They want to get out of prison.
Who I've evolved into, who I've seen Lyle evolve into, I'm beginning to like myself, and be proud of myself, and find it okay to like myself. You never know how long you've been blessed to be on the earth, so we don't just sit around waiting for something.
And Erik and Lyle are, in fact, waiting for something. They're waiting for a decision from Governor Gavin Newsom and the California Parole Board on their possible future as free men. So how will this latest interview affect their parole hearing in June? And what in the world is going to happen on Friday when we get to that potential resentencing hearing? The DA's indicated unless they come clean and really own up and drop the self-defense claims, will they then reconsider the idea of them being resentenced? So here with us to talk about all things Menendez mania, entertainment journalist Shishi Yang is back with us. Shishi, good morning. Always great to have you on the show. Take us to California, where you are. What is the feeling from the people there, the sentiment for these guys?
Good morning, Julia. LA is definitely very, very divided on this issue because it's a really interesting case study that now spans across 3 different generations. You have the boomers who still remember watching the courtroom drama, watching the media frenzy unfold in real life. You have millennials that know the Menendez brothers from watching the documentary specials such as the TMZ one that aired last night, and Gen Z that consumes a lot of true crime cases on TikTok. So it definitely depends on who you ask. But what I think is so important about the case is it really speaks so loudly about how much our world has changed, how much our culture has shifted, what our perception, our perspective have changed on child abuse, on sexual abuse, criminal rehabilitation. I know one thing's for sure. Everyone is going to be waiting to watch the hearing this Friday.
Shishi, I love that answer and all of your analysis there. As you know, in the TMZ doc, the Menendez brothers pushed back really hard on your new DA in Los Angeles, Nathan Hochman. And in particular, they pushed back on his comparison with them to Sirhan, who shot and killed Robert F. Kennedy, as we know. I want to play a clip of Nathan Hochman. This was back in March, and he was talking about the ever-changing stories of the Menendez brothers, because it seems that the DA's office really has a problem with the lying, the suborning perjury, the fabrication of evidence. And the DA even said, you know, if they would just come clean and own up to having done this in cold blood, not in self-defense as they claim, then perhaps he would consider recommending resentencing. Let's take a look.
So if the Menendezes go ahead and want to, at any point, whether it's today, whether it's weeks from now, months from now, or years from now, finally and unequivocally express that they and acknowledge the lies that they have told and persisted in for over 30 years, then we will certainly evaluate the quality of that sincerity and decide whether or not it's real or fake, whether or not it's just designed to get out of jail, or whether or not they truly believe and acknowledge the full breadth of the crimes and lies they have told in deciding what to do at that point. And as importantly, the court will have to make that decision, and that decision is the court and the courts alone to make.
Shishi, tell us, how is DA Hochman being received in his new position in LA?
This is just another reflection of how politics plays such a big part, because I know this DA is very gung-ho about keeping them behind bars. The previous one really wanted to give them a second chance, wanted to set them free in consideration of some of the new rules here in California, the new laws, and even the Menendez brothers legal team, their whole angle is that if they were tried nowadays with the new laws, the new rules, and our world's new perspective on childhood trauma, sexual abuse, criminal rehabilitation, they wouldn't have had the same outcome that they did 35 years ago. But the real question comes down to, just because our perception on all these issues have changed, does that have the power to change a ruling from before? I guess we're all going to have to wait and see.
Shishi, you're right. Then we have Governor Gavin Newsom, of course. He is the third part of this equation, as you know, who could grant them clemency. He's having the risk assessment done right now to see just what kind of a risk Lyle and Erik would be if they are integrated back into the public. Let's take a listen to some of what the governor said on his podcast.
Yes, celebrity weighs. It has an impact. But in what direction does it weigh? Sometimes it's used actually against people because they're so high profile. They're actually held to a higher level of scrutiny and standards. At the same time, you don't want that celebrity also to influence on the other side. So it's a balancing act, but I'm deeply mindful of it. And that's why it's critical that our team independently stress test the nature of celebrity. And that's why I move forward with the Board of Parole hearings to independently review with group of experts, forensic psychologists, and others, the facts of this case.
Okay, Shishi, is Gavin Newsom feeling the pressure on this?
Absolutely. And I think it was really interesting to see how much Governor Newsom have really taken a stance, even in the documentary, in the specials airing on TMZ last night. You know, this is a very polarizing issue. So for him to come on board saying that, you know, we should give the brothers a chance. They have shown 35 years of incredible growth, criminal rehabilitation. It's really amazing. And even myself, watching the documentary last night, I quickly realized that it wasn't just about the crime. It's more about what happens after the crime. And just to hear how they spoke about the amount of work that they've been doing behind bars. They have launched a hospice program. They have counseled inmates. They've even obtained advanced college degrees, all without hope of ever being set free. That's really incredible growth. But is this growth enough to give them a second chance? That is going to be the $1 million question here.